everybody. This is Jason back with another movie review. Again, I'm back reviewing 11/22/63, Episode 3, and that's titled Other Voices, Other Rooms. And so far, the first two episodes have been great, and we have got a lot of information in a short amount of time, and honestly, it made me want more, so let's dig right into Episode 3 and see how this rates in the series. This episode actually picks up right after Episode 2. Bill and Jake are driving away from Kentucky, and they stop at a motel room. And this is kind of where I kind of have a little problem with so far, because first of all, in the first episode, you notice that Jake is trying to be careful with people noticing that he's from the future. Like, for example, he's getting the suit in episode 1, and he drops the phone, which can happen. But he picks it up, quickly and puts it back in his pocket. Here, however, he's forced to tell Bill that he's from the future. And it just seems that Bill takes this news with no problem. And I kind of have a problem with that, honestly. Just imagine somebody telling you that they're from the future. It seems like he takes it fine. He tries to find out what year he's from, and if he needs to go back and save his sister. And then, of course, Jake explains to him exactly what the rules are for this time travel, and there we go, we got it. So Bill agrees to take Jake over to Dallas for $100. So they drive there, and they get to Dallas, and Bill wants to be part of this. He wants to help him. In the book, like I said, in the book, Bill dies of a heart attack back over where Frank and Harry were. And then that's the last you hear about that character. So in this one, they needed somebody to kind of tag along, and I guess there's nobody else. So I understood this totally. And so from here on out, you have Bill tagging along. And so, again, we'll continue talking about his character and what I think. But at this point so far in this episode, he's not that bad of a character. And I understand why he's there, to move the plot along. They didn't want a narration like in the book, because in the book there's a lot of narration. So it's understandable. Okay, so they get to Dallas, and again, up until now, the whole series, I gotta give credit to the production team, because honestly, it just feels like the 60s. Again, it's still 1960 at this point, and they're walking up to the Texas School Book Depository building right in the middle of Dealey Plaza, and they're walking in the middle of the street. It looks beautiful, the scenery does, and just the colors that they use for this. But, I live in Dallas, so I know how packed it is, at least now, in 2016. Not sure how it was back in 1960, but I just don't think in the middle of the day that they could have just been walking in the middle of the street like that. You see some cars driving back and forth in the distance, so I found that kind of fake and kind of funny. But I know they wanted the look to feel that way, so I understood that. Again, it looks great, and like I said, I was down there for filming the entire week in Dallas, and they did a lot of the exterior shots that they really felt was necessary to make this feel realistic. And most of the scenes that are Dallas scenes are filmed in Canada. And this, for example, when you do see the School Book Depository, you know that you're really there in Dallas. I was there as well. So they moved to Fort Worth because what's going on right now is Lee Harvey Oswald is actually still in Russia, so they got some time. So they moved to Fort Worth, and they rent out the apartment that's next door to what Lee Harvey is going to rent. So they're right next door to each other. And at this point, there's a lot of filler and not much excitement on this episode compared to the other two. So when I first watched it, it felt kind of boring to me. A lot of setup. So in the meantime, while they're moving to Fort Worth, Jake is also getting a job as a teacher, English teacher over in Jody, Texas, which is a made-up town, but it's supposed to be a town that's in between Dallas and Fort Worth. So he's pretty much leading separate lives or different lives, So during the day, he's teaching English at this school, and during the night, he's going to be in Fort Worth snooping on Oswald. And we're introduced again to Sadie Dunhill. We were introduced to her a little bit in episode 1 in Dealey Plaza while she's sitting on the bench, and she's taken away by her current husband. And I think I forgot to mention that in the first one. His car is actually, if you're a Stephen King fan, you'll recognize the car right away as the Christine car. And it was pretty cool to see that downtown. I just wish I would have got a picture with it, because I did see it, and it was too late for me to take a picture before I realized which car it actually was. So I thought that was pretty cool. So again, you're introduced to her again, and the time flies by real quick. I mean, there's a lot of filler. He has to make it to 1963, so they quickly pass 2 years, and again, it's 1962, and you see the scene where Oswald lands at the airport, and they're finally moved to Texas, and this is where you kind of get, you snoop on them, and there's not much snooping going on here. They have all the radios that they've bugged his apartment. They had a week or so to bug the apartment in advance to Oswald going there, and they bugged like the light fixtures and underneath the tables that were currently in the apartment. So it's kind of cool to see that also. You also see George de Mohrenschildt again, and I think that's what's keeping Jake from not just murdering Oswald here, is that there's a question that if he really did it or not, and also if George de Mohrenschildt had anything to do with it. So unfortunately, when they first meet at his apartment over there, George de Mohrenschildt and Lee Harvey Oswald, they're speaking Russian. So Jake's like, I think it's time for us to get a Russian to English dictionary. Another cool thing was what they put in here also, what I've kind of forgot to mention, was when they're walking down Dealey Plaza and Jake and Bill are walking down it, he's mentioning where exactly Lee Harvey was found, up on the 6th floor right there, and also pointing out the potential spots of the other shooters that throughout the years that people have mentioned as conspiracy theorists, that there's possibly somebody over here, somebody over here. So I thought that was kind of a cool shout out that they did mention some of those spots that he's aware of. So again, not much is going on here. I think it's a lot of filler, and you get to meet the Sadie and Jake, and this is where their relationship actually starts. They have to chaperone a school dance, but a lot of shady stuff is happening also because they're right in the middle of chaperoning. So it was Jake and Sadie chaperoning an entire high school dance, and he has to leave in the middle of it. And the next day, Sadie's like, "What the heck happened? Why?" Because he never came back. He went back over there, and he had to snoop on them. So that's basically it. That's what happens in this. You're not really of course, I mean, for me, I was ready to move on to episode 4 and see what happens. But unlike the other ones, you're not really left on a cliffhanger. There's not much of a, what happens next type feeling. But I was interested in, I was already interested in this entire series, and I recommend continuing to watch this episode. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's not one of the strong episodes. It's probably more on the weaker side of the entire series. But continue watching this. There's enough to watch and to keep you interested. And there's also just the way the production team put together the 1960s. It really made me want to watch it just because of that reason as well. So okay, that's going to be it for this episode. It's probably quicker than the other ones, but that's okay. We'll move on shortly to episode 4. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate it. And if you guys get a chance, please like my Facebook page, facebook.com/DVD Review Dude. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel here, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. That would be great. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.